All right, let's dive into something that's really at the heart of ITIL 4. It's 7 guiding principles. Now, these are not just rules you memorize for a test. They're a philosophy, a mindset that's really designed to change how any organization, any team, creates actual, tangible value. Let's see how it all works. You've seen this happen before, right? A team gets a critical project. Let's say they need to fix a slow, super outdated customer app. They've got the budget, they've got the talent, all the best intentions in the world. But months, maybe even a year later, the new version finally launches and crickets. Customers are still complaining and the business hasn't seen any real improvement. Well, this is the exact problem that these principles are here to solve. See, success isn't about having a perfect, rigid, step-by-step plan. It's about having a flexible philosophy that helps you navigate all the chaos and the unexpected twists and turns.
And that's exactly where ITIL's guiding principles come in. Think of them like a compass for our app development team. No matter how the project changes or what new obstacle pops up, this compass always points them in the right direction. And that's because these principles are universal. They apply to any team, any project, and they're enduring. They don't just change with the latest tech fad.
Okay, so where does our team even begin? Well, they start with the first and, honestly, the most important principle. It's the true north on their compass. Focusing on value. Before anyone even thinks about writing a single line of code, the team just stops. They take a step back to understand what value actually means to their customers. They really get into the customer experience, the CX. Is value a faster checkout process? Is it a cleaner interface? Maybe it's just better search results. From this moment on, every single decision they make has to answer one simple question. How does this create value for the person using our app? Once they've got a handle on what value looks like, the next logical step is to figure out where they stand right now. They need to start where you are. You know that huge temptation to just scrap everything and build something shiny and new from scratch? Our team fights that urge. Instead, they use direct observation. They use real data to see what's already working in the old app. Hey, maybe the user authentication is rock solid, or perhaps the database is perfectly reliable. By leveraging what's already there, they save a ton of time and money, and they can focus their energy only on what's truly broken. So our team has a destination, which is value, and they have a starting point. But the path to get there, it's not one giant risky leap of faith. Nope. It's a journey made of small, manageable steps taken with tons of feedback and collaboration along the way. So instead of going dark for a year and then doing this huge Big Bang release, the team decides to progress iteratively. They pick the most critical improvement. Let's say it's speeding up the product search, and they build a minimum viable product, an MVP. Then they release this new feature to just a small fraction of their users, maybe 5%. And what's the magic here? It's that feedback loop. They immediately learn what people love and what they don't, which lets them tweak and improve before the next small release. And this whole process isn't happening in some secret back room. They collaborate and promote visibility. They make their work, their progress, and even their challenges visible to everyone. Marketing, sales, customer support. This just shatters those departmental silos and makes sure that everyone's expertise is part of the solution. And what's really crucial here is that collaboration doesn't mean you need 100% consensus on everything. It just means the right people are in the loop at the right time. So we've covered the process, but these principles, they also shape the team's entire way of thinking. This is all about adopting a mindset that is both holistic, seeing the big picture, and at the same time, ruthlessly simple. The team gets that their app doesn't exist on an island. To think and work holistically means they're constantly considering the entire system. How is this update going to affect the customer support team? Does the marketing department know how to talk about these new features? They know that an amazing app with terrible customer support still adds up to a bad customer experience. And that idea flows perfectly into the next principle. Keep it simple and practical. The team pretty much has this quote taped to their monitors. They're constantly challenging themselves. Do we really need this complicated new feature? Is this extra approval step adding any actual value? If the answer is no, they get rid of it. The goal isn't to build the most complex solution, it's to find the simplest, most direct path to get the job done. Okay, so this brings us to the final goal. Once the team has a simple, valuable, and holistic process, they need to make it as efficient as it can possibly be. Here it is, the golden rule. The team knows that automating a messy, complicated process just helps you make the same mistakes, only a whole lot faster. Before they even dream about automation tools, they first make sure the process itself is as lean, clean, and effective as possible. And the difference in the outcome is just night and day. If you automate a complex process, sure, you get something that's fast, but it's also fragile and a nightmare to maintain. But by simplifying first, our team creates a process that isn't just fast, it's efficient, it's resilient, and it's ready for whatever comes next. So what's the end of the story for our team? Well, by following this philosophy, they didn't just push an update. They launched a service that was faster, simpler, and way more reliable. Customers loved it, and it drove real business results. They actually succeeded where so many others fail. And here's the key takeaway. These principles are not a checklist you just tick off one by one. They're an interconnected mindset. Starting where you are helps you focus on value way faster. Collaboration is how you get that critical feedback. And keeping it simple is the only path to real optimization. They all work together, they all reinforce each other to help you think holistically. At the end of the day, these guiding principles aren't just a framework. They're a philosophy for creating value, no matter what you're working on. It's a way of thinking that puts the customer right at the center of everything you do. So the real question isn't just, what are these principles? It's, where will you start? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.